So now, let's make you think. So we're going to tone it down a little bit and we're going to get serious because there's so much death going on around us. Senseless acts of violence, murder, and suicide. At the beginning of the show, I talked about tragedy and loss. And now I have to go right back and get back into that because unfortunately we have so much of that going on today. So I want to say rest in heaven to one of our sisters. Her name is Brandy Rusher. She's from the 5th cycle of American Next Top Model. Now the reason why I bring up Brandy's story is because it is just filled with tragedy and such senseless violence that it needs attention. Now I don't know if you guys heard about it. You know, I see limited press and media about it, so I just wanted to really bring this to you guys' attention. So Brandy and her brother and 4 other young men were sitting outside of an apartment building, and they had a conflict with another young man or older. I don't know the details of what the man's age. They haven't released that information. They had an argument over them sitting over the stairs though. So I guess the man went and, got a machine gun of all things and decided to just open fire on these 6 people. And the man shot into the crowd, critically injuring Brandy, who let her die from her injuries, killing her brother, another man, and critically injuring 3 others. Shaking my head. I normally wouldn't go into details about a situation like this, but like I said before, Brandy's case is just one that's filled with senseless violence. Like an argument over somebody still sitting on some stairs. It wasn't a physical altercation. It was just a verbal conflict. And this man decided to go into his house, grab a machine gun, and kill 3 people and critically injured 3 others. All I want to say is that we really need some solutions, and if anybody has any type of advice or opinions on solutions that we need to get our people to wake up to this type of nonsense, please leave a comment. Please drop it in the comments and I will read it in my next episode. So here's another case of senseless violence that's going on in our community all over the world. And that's why I said this episode is just going to be filled with, just loss and tragedy. And it's because our people can't seem to understand that we're doing this stuff to ourselves. This story really broke my heart because this is the story of, I'm sure you guys heard, the 13-year-old who accidentally shot himself while going live on Instagram. So if you guys don't know the details of this case, I'm going to give it to you right here. It's only right because, this was a 13-year-old young man who didn't even get to live his life. So he reportedly was in his room on Instagram Live on his phone. And he had a gun and he was waving it around. And the people who was watching him on live, were doing, the things that people on live do. And one of them decided to say, well, why you ain't got no clip in there? So, him being a young boy, and I guess, pride got in the thing in a way, and he decided to put the clip in. So as he was putting the clip in, he accidentally shot himself, instantly killing himself. His mother was in the other room. She heard the gunshot, ran in, and found her son, a phone, still going live, mind you, and a gun, laying next to her son's lifeless body. I just want you guys to take a time out and just to think, especially the parents out here, how would you feel to hear a gunshot or whatever, just to walk in and find your child laying on the ground, lifeless. I can't imagine the pain that she's going through. So, family, we definitely need to send prayers out and positive healing vibrations out to that family, to that mother, because, I can't imagine what she's going through just from experience something like that, as well as the children who had to witness that. Situations like this definitely leaves us to wonder, as parents, as a community, as a race, what is going on in the minds of our young boys, to make them feel like having a gun or, being tough is a rite of passage into manhood. As a mother of sons, I definitely want to have a deeper understanding on this subject, so I'll be bringing on a guest male speaker to give us more insight. So before I get into deep into the next story, I definitely want to take some time out to send out prayers to the families that was affected by the tragedy that happened in San Bernardino, California. It's unfortunate what happened to those people out there, but I kind of want to play devil's advocate, because we got to look at this thing from all sides of the table, from all sides of the situation. Now, about a couple of weeks ago, before this incident happened, I don't know if it was like 2 weeks or a week and a half, but it was, the authorities intercepted a terrorist attack by a young woman who was attending school. I said a young woman because she was over the age of 18, who was attending school, and she had premeditated and planned to go in and shoot up her school, shooting teachers and classmates alike, just randomly shooting people. So they intercepted it, and they found all types of terrorist weapons, and that's why we use the word terrorist, because they found pipe bombs, guns, and just all types of things that this young lady planned to use to go in and just take lives. So the media, I don't know if the media, I haven't really seen the media giving this too much coverage, and they hadn't released her name, but we have the name of the young lady. And they've been dumbing it down, babyfying it, like, oh, kids, like this young girl, no, she's not a young girl, she's a young woman who planned and plotted to take lives. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she needed to be held accountable as an adult. And not to take anything away from the families that was affected by what happened in California, but we need to keep a first eye open to the situation that's going on. And basically what's going on is that because of this situation with them intercepting this terrorist attack in Maryland, they had to bring another one, and they had to make it with melanated people. And a normal regular melanated person would not have sacrificed themselves for that. And so I had to look at this man's background and say, because we don't do stuff like that. We just, that man wanted to kill his wife. He could have killed his wife anywhere. He didn't have to go to her job, to a school. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of, put the pieces together, Like, why would he go to a school, her job, and kill her and shoot innocent children? He didn't have to do that. We don't do stuff like that. Men that kill their wives, and wives that kill their husbands, and they don't go to their jobs and do it. They do it. It's up close and personal and private, for the most part. It's not at a school or at their workplace. So for that to happen like that, you got to start looking at all the clues and the pieces. And the regular average Joe just wouldn't sacrifice themselves like that. So we got to look at his background. And, when I was talking to my business partner, I said, I guarantee you that he was a military man, because those are the ones who pledged their allegiance to this country, and who would sacrifice themselves like that for the government. And guarantee you, he was a military man. When you look at his background, we found out that he was a military man. So, like I said, not taking anything from the situation that happened in San Bernardino, California, because my heart definitely hurts for those people, especially that 8-year-old boy who lost his life, and the other child who was shot and injured by this psychopath. But, we definitely have to look at the chess pieces that's being moved, because they're playing chess, not checkers. And you know, we have to stay on point with that. We have to stay on code with that, and not get lost in like the tragedy of it. Even though it was definitely a sad tragedy, we can't get lost in that. We have to understand what's being done and why it's being done. You understand, family? So I just wanted to talk about that. And you know, like I said, we just had so much loss this month, and it's just people acting a fool. They definitely showing out for April. And you know, I just sent all my prayers out to everybody who has lost somebody, or who has been affected by tragedy over these last couple of weeks, and as well as the young girls who are still missing. You know, the young DC girls that are still missing. You know, we want to send prayers out to their family as well. Hopefully, you know, those girls are found and returned home. You know, I know it was a lot of talk about those girls possibly being runaways, but I doubt it. Like, you know, when a girl runs away from home, her parents 9 times out of 10 knows where she's running to, who she's running with. You know, our kids these days, all of them have social media pages, phones, iPhones. You know, like there's so many ways to track and keep track of our children, that if they were just hiding out and hanging out with a boyfriend or at a friend's house because mommy or daddy pissed them off because they didn't get their way, they would definitely been found by now. So I just want you guys to take that in consideration, because I was going to do like a big show on that, you know, tell a little bit about myself when it came to that situation. Because, you know, I am a girl. I was once a young troubled girl. So I understand how those things go. And the universe protected me and saved me. But I definitely feel for, you know, the girls who was runaways and that was safely returned home. Because, you know, we got to ask the question, why did they run away, you know? And for those who haven't been found, it's like, what's going on with them, you know? Hopefully they're not, you know, victims of a higher crime, you know? So I thank you guys for tuning in. I really enjoyed this time with y'all. And I thank y'all for, you know, letting me stimulate your brain, sipping some tea with me and talking some shit, you know? Until next time, it's your girl LaLa. Peace.